Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna.
Don't eat a mushroom stem and see colors. Eat the whole bag and see God one time. A real God. Not some storybook bullshit God that's been fucking kicked into your head for the last 2,000 years that you just accept with no logic whatsoever. A fucking real God that works for you.
Yeah,
What
I
about
smoked
that,
DMT.
Doug?
I smoked DMT, which is, I guess, the synthesized
yeah.
version of that.
Oh, Robin loves this now. She's like, oh, yes, DMT. Yes, I'm into
Well,
that.
I know what the active ingredient is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a drug
quick. It's
addict.
it's less than 10 minutes, and you're
Is that
gone.
right?
You don't have time to puke and fart.
Now, I've done acid, and I've done mescaline, and I've done various drugs. And
Stop bragging.
I'm not bragging. Believe me, I tell people don't do them. It was the worst. I know what it's like to be a schizophrenic. You take 4 hits LSD, you'll see what Bingo's nightmare is. You don't know where you are, and you don't know what's going on.
Well, yeah, if you trip and you're carrying a lot of baggage, it can
goes
sure
bad.
go wrong.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
You're not kidding. So when you did ayahuasca, as Robin did you have a bad time of it?
No, but it's almost indescribable. It's not like tripping. It's not like mushrooms where walls breathing.
Right.
You're in the middle of the fucking universe. I'm watching all information as though it were data where you have complete knowledge.
Yeah,
And
like
this
you
is
see
so
formulas
ridiculous
and
to-
stuff, right? Yeah.
You feel
And
you
you-
know things. Robin knew things beforehand. I don't know why
Yeah,
she
but
needed
it's
to know
not.
more.
No, you know everything.
You know
meaning
everything.
of life shit, and
Like
it's
if
not
you're
even
in the
surprising to
library,
you.
everything's available
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, and you've always known it, and it's
Really?
Yeah, when I heard you
I should
describing
lock you
it, and
all
then they
up.
get the callers calling in. Yeah, she did peyote, dude. I did the same shit in college. No, you haven't done the same stuff.
I smoked DMT, and it was something that you said up front, Alex, that made me think of it. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone but the most hardcore trippers, because it's really fucked up, and you really do. Oh, that's what it was, the atheist remark. I'm an atheist. No, I don't know yet. And that's when I smoked DMT with Rogan. It's the most, DMT, dimethyltryptamine, is the most powerful hallucinogen known to man, and it's about a 10-minute trip where I understood the meaning of life as though it was as cliched as a fucking baby on board bumper sticker, and I'm just, oh, okay. And as this is a true story. I'm at Rogan's and we're doing that stupid fucking thing I did. There's tribes in the third world, fourth world, Amazon tribes that still believe that a camera can steal your soul. And I always thought that was ridiculous until I did the Man Show. And I go, oh, now I see what you mean. So me and Rogan we having to write monologues for the Man Show up at his fucking palatial Scarface estate before I head back to my one bedroom. And we're trying to write these fucking monologues and trying to write them funny enough that they're us, but dumb enough that they'll get on TV, and dumb's always winning. And he's going, I got the DMT, you want to try it? And I go, fuck it, let's do it. And so I smoke this shit, and I'm literally immediately blown into the center of the universe, and I'm there, and I'm honestly watching all information being sucked through a black hole as data. It's all being sucked as data in several lines being sucked, and I understand the meaning of life, and I understand what it's all everything. I know everything, and it's true. That's what the difference between a good drug and a bad drug is. A bad drug, the ideas that you have while you're doing it wear off the next day, and a good drug, that stays with you. You can get fucked up, drink all sorts of tequila and Jägermeister, and go, fucking dude, let's drive down to Central America. Why not? Fuck it, that comic said quit your job, and you know what, he touched something in me, so I'm gonna fucking, and then you get to the fucking halfway past Juarez, and you're fucking sucking a donkey dick to get back. Oh, what did I do? I mean, I didn't really, and that's bad, but a good drug, like you can do acid, and you fucking have fucked up thoughts, and you're watching your dog, and you swear he's communicating through you, to you with just mere eye contact, and it's true, but even when the drug wears off, you never look at the dog the same way again. You're like, you know me, motherfucker. All right. So there's a truth to the drug. So I'm at the center of the universe watching all this fucking information, and I know the meaning of life. It's rote, and it's a 10-minute trip, and I come out of it, and Rogan's big fucking head. And I knew everything in the world. and I had to go back to writing man show monologues.
Yeah, it's called dimethyltryptamine. It's produced by your pineal gland. It's actually a gland that's in the center of your brain. It's the craziest drug ever. It's the most potent psychedelic known to man. Literally, but the craziest thing is about it, it's natural. And your brain produces it every night as you sleep. You know, when you sleep during the time you're in heavy REM sleep and right before human death, your brain pumps out heavy doses of dimethyltryptamine. It's a human neurotransmitter. It exists in every single one of us, and yet it's one of the most illegal substances in the world. It's more illegal than heroin. It's just as illegal as it is the most illegal substance you could possibly get. Yet it exists in almost every ecosystem. It's in grasses and animals. It's the pineal gland that produces it. Literally, is your third eye. In reptiles, it actually has a retina, a cornea, and a lens. You take this shit and literally you are transported into another fucking dimension. I don't mean like you feel like you're in another dimension. I mean like you're in another dimension. You're in another dimension where there's no furniture, bro. There's fucking complex geometric patterns moving in synchronous order through the air all around you in three-dimensional space. And it's like they're arteries, except there's not blood pumping through them. There's fucking lights, pulsating lights with no boundaries, and you can't really understand it. And there's an alien communicating with me. And there's a dude who looks like sort of like a Thai Buddha, except he's made entirely of energy, and there's no like outline to him. He's just one thing, and he's concentrating on it, and he's trying to tell me not to give in to astonishment. Just relax and try to experience this. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. And I'm a stand-up comedian, you know, because as a stand-up comedian, we pride ourselves in being able to describe things. So I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna talk about this? Because this is insane. Because there's like a beat, it's like, and there's all these fucking complex patterns moving around, and this guy's looking at me in the eye, and I am fucking freaking out. And it lasts for about 5 minutes. Everybody in their life, if you live, you know, and you haven't had a heavy psychedelic experience and you haven't gone in an isolation tank, you've missed out. You've missed out on a huge chunk of what life really is. Life is a massive fucking mystery, and there's only a few different ways to really crack below the surface of that mystery, and the best way is psychedelics. And the heavier the psychedelic, the better. And guess what? No one's dying from psychedelics. All our thoughts on psychedelics are all based on bullshit propaganda that we heard about people, you know, going crazy or losing their minds on it. You're not going to go crazy. You're going to go fucking sane. All right? All that stuff is going to remove your ego, and it's going to explain to you what the world is really all about. I think there's two consciousness. There's a dream consciousness, and there's a waking consciousness. And this dream consciousness might be more real than the waking consciousness.
Oh, my God. Lift me up out of this illusion, Lord. Heal my perception that I may know only reality and only you. I have taken drugs before, and I had a real good time. Sorry. Didn't murder anybody, didn't rob anybody, didn't rape anybody, didn't beat anybody, didn't lose one fucking job, laughed my ass off, and went about my day. Sorry. Now, where's my commercial? I've seen a lot of things on drugs, but I have never, ever, ever looked at an egg and thought it was a fucking brain, not once. I have seen UFOs split the sky like a sheet, but I have never looked at an egg and thought it was a fucking brain, not once. I have had 7 balls of light come off of a UFO, lead me onto their ship, explain to me telepathically that we are all one and there's no such thing as death. But I've never looked at an egg and thought it was a fucking brain. Now, maybe I wasn't getting good shit. If you believe drugs don't do anything good for us, do me this favor, will you? Go home tonight, take all your albums and tapes, okay, and burn them. Because you know what? The musicians who made all that great music, real fucking high on drugs. Great music, they were high, drugs had a positive effect. Shall I walk you through it again? You never see positive drug stories on the news, do you? Isn't that weird? Since most of the experiences I've had on drugs were real fucking positive. Who are these morons they're finding? That's what I want to know. I used to want to call the news. Come over to our house. Watch Tommy. He's a pig. Film him. He's been doing that for hours. He's killing us. You getting all that? You know what I mean? Always that same LSD story. You've all seen it. Young man on acid thought he could fly, jumped out of a building. What a tragedy. What a dick. Fuck him. He's an idiot. If he thought he could fly, why didn't he take off on the ground first? How about a positive LSD story? Wouldn't that be newsworthy just once? To base your decision on information rather than scare tactics and superstitions and lies? Just once. I think it would be newsworthy. Today, a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather.
Once again, I recommend a healthy dose of psilocybin mushrooms. 3 weeks ago, 2 of my friends and I went to a ranch in Fredericksburg, Texas, and took what Terrence McKenna calls a heroic dose. 5 dried grams. Let me tell you, our third eye was squeegeed quite cleanly. Wow! And I'm glad they're against the law. You know what happened when I took them? I lay in a field of green grass for 4 hours, going, my God, I love everything. The heavens parted, God looked down and rained gifts of forgiveness onto my being, healing me on every level, psychically, physically, emotionally. And I realized our true nature is spirit, not body, that we are eternal beings, and God's love is unconditional. There's nothing we can ever do to change that. It is only our illusion that we are separate from God or that we are alone. In fact, the reality is we are one with God and He loves us. Now, if that isn't a hazard to this country, you see my point. Build nuclear weapons. You know what I mean? What's going to happen to the arms industry when we realize we're all one? It's going to fuck up the economy. The economy that's fake anyway. This would be a real bummer, you know. You see why the government's cracking down on the idea of experiencing unconditional love.
I began to take some acid and some mescaline. I didn't overdo it. I had a couple of trips that weren't the best, but I had a lot of great trips. And that is a values-changing drug. Hallucinogens are a value changer. So is marijuana. Like it or not, it changes your values. It opens up windows, doors of perception, Aldous Huxley called them. And you see things differently. And I suddenly was able to see my place and to realize I was in the wrong place. You see, in 1967, the summer of love, the peak of the hippie movement, I was 30. I was entertaining people in nightclubs who were 40. And they were at war with their kids who were 20. There was a generation war. I was in the middle of it. I was 30, 20, 40. And I said, what the fuck am I doing over here? These are the people that will at least understand me and give me a chance. I was just expanding. I was just expanding naturally. It wasn't forced. I had denied that part of myself, and finally it came into full flower, and I never became a really big success until that.
The hardest years of my life were the 3 or 4 years when I was doing straight mainstream bullshit television shows because I thought I wanted to be like a Danny Kaye or something. My dream from a kid was still like that. I wanted to be in the movies and go like this for people, and I didn't know that my head
like this?
I didn't know my head was different. I didn't understand that. I thought if I thought about it at 9 years of age, it must still be valid when I'm 21, but it wasn't. And I finally, boom, that clicked in from the acid. Thank God for acid.
So now that hard work stuff is bullshit.
Well, it don't hurt.
Acid. Somebody give me some acid right now. You know, I got people around here to get me shit, but no one ever gets me acid.
If you're, well, I'll tell you this. That's why they put it on that list of bad drugs, because they know it opens up the mind. It can be dangerous. I ain't saying it's not dangerous in some way. You take too much, take the wrong kind, get it.
Now, where do you get your acid from?
I don't. That's what's nice.
Because I want the good stuff.
I don't need it anymore because
okay.
it's a self-limiting drug. It's the kind of drug that you take it a few times and it tells you that's enough. We're cool. Now we're happening, and that's what happened to me.
When I smoked dimethyltryptamine recently, it was this confirmation of so many divergent philosophies that I read all coming together into this one blissful, very short moment where it's like, oh, shit, it's real. It's all this nonsense that stuff that I thought, maybe this is crap. We're all one thing. There's one connective life force that's just some love principle that only wants to nurture and embrace and heal. You hear that and it's like, whatever. But then you smoke DMT and it's like, oh, wow, It is real. It's there and I'm it and it's me. I can't say anything more than find some DMT and smoke it as soon as you can. And then answer the question for yourself, because the experience is so...
You're going to get picked up by the NSA again.
Terrence McKenna describes DMT as, I just read this, as a Niagara of epiphanous beauty. And that is a very apt description of this state. You smoke it, and there's an immediate sense of like something being like, just calm down.
Oh, there's a presence.
There's a presence that's like, just relax, just take this. And then for me, it was microtubules, like just like thousands and thousands, and I don't know, just an infinite amount of like mycelium or something, like coming out of nowhere and connecting with my chest and my chest. And then the sense of something pumping in, just love or this healing energy just kind of pumping in, with almost like a doctor who has a person on a table being like, hold on, just calm down, just calm down, just calm down. And then you close, if you open your eyes, you see kind of like very heavy duty, like psilocybin LSD level warping of matter. But it's much more beautiful and less like, you know, when you're on acid, it feels like your consciousness is kind of like bending or warping with the acid. Yeah. That's not really happening. There's more of just like the observer of this beautiful sort of like warping sense. But you don't want to look out of the world. You close your eyes, and that's when you go into this just matrix of pre-creation. This kind of like pre-existent state of perfection that is somehow manifesting as us, as humanity. And it's just so tranquil and beautiful and peaceful and perfect and loving. But then there's like this, like at one point I'm like going through this weird maze of geometries, and there's this corner. And right around the corner, there's this like flickering light shooting out of this corner, and then it's like you're suddenly just back on the couch. And my friend told me, well, you know, that's the problem with DMT, is that to get around that corner, you have to like inhale quite a bit of the smoke. It's like rocket fuel. If you don't, it burns off so quickly because it's already in your body that if you do it in the right way, and the reason people like ayahuasca is that apparently it can, you're more likely to turn that corner. And when you turn that corner, you like blast into some other completely alternate dimension, which, you know, maybe I wasn't ready for that alternate dimension, but I got what I needed to get from the thing. And also what's crazy about DMT is when you 10 minutes afterwards, the hallucinations stop. 30 minutes after, you still feel high in this beautiful way. 4 hours after, you realize that you can't stop. You're still smiling.
And then, like, the next day you wake up and you're happier than you've been in so long. And you find yourself grasping for this. For me, I found myself grasping for the depression.
Right.
I was looking for the darkness. And it's gone. So you're, like, trying to grab onto this darkness, but there's no darkness. So now you're like, what the fuck? I can't find the sadness anymore because you've been shown this pre-existent state. The one question I had, I'm sorry for the DMT rant.
No, that's beautiful.
The side effect of DMT is that you don't never stop talking about it. You do feel like you've been inducted into some kind of secret society, but it feels like the answer to everything got whispered in your ear, and then you can't remember what that was. But the calmness and the sense of peace that came from the answer stays with you. It's like you're not allowed to, like, understand it completely, yet that sense of, like, oh, okay, I don't need to freak out anymore. I'm very surprised that's an illegal drug. Smoke DMT, don't drink and drive. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Benpondani Nichi Sasanju Samai Anjo Niki Gojo Yasujo Chichimunyo Gojo Iman Nange Nanyu Isa Shomana Kishibuchi Fortuna Chichait.
Whoa, Duncan's an alien.